Hello and welcome to Meditation Coach Leo's channel, where we help you improve your health, regain your confidence level, and to help you find your inner peace. So, once again, welcome to today's episode of Coach Leo's Wisdom. And today, I want to talk to you about self-sabotaging. That's right, self-sabotage. So, what is self-sabotaging? Now, this is an uncanny behavior from a psychology standpoint. What we do is we as human beings sometimes become our own worst enemies. You've probably heard of the famous quote, "You are indeed your worst enemy, your ultimate enemy." And sometimes we do play that role. As ironic as it sounds, I mean, you don't want yourself to be the obstacle towards your goals, right? But unconsciously, somehow not being aware, sometimes we do that. Let's dive right into today's topic and find out what are some of the ways that we become our own obstacles, become counterproductive in terms of serving ourselves to get one step closer to our self-actualization as well as self-development. From a psychological or psychology standpoint, our brain or human beings are designed for two basic principles. And that is one, we are wired or designed to go after rewards. So we're very goal or reward oriented. And at the same time, the second principle that we function from is that we try our best to minimize the threat or the risk that comes from outside. So with these two principles in mind, human brain is wired to embrace what is familiar. So we want to protect and preserve what's known. At the same time, we try to avoid the threat or the unknown as much as possible, and we tend to overestimate the danger or the risk more than it actually is. So in a way, we're more attached to what's known and what's been proven and what's been validated. We have a built-in sort of a mechanism that that functions kind of like a thermostat. So as we all know, what is a thermostat? Thermostat is a automatic mechanism that calibrates a set temperature point. Whenever the outside gets hot or cold, it returns back to a fixed temperature, right? So it's the same concept. We have this built-in mechanism where it controls the degree of our success, our love, as well as creativity and more. So we unconsciously program the level of all these elements. And whenever we go about with our lives, and if it tends to go up or go down and it kind of deviates from that trajectory, then it tends to return back to what we have set previously. In a way, we are creating our own limitations for all these things like creativity, love, success, and what have you. So once again, when it deviates the set course, it calibrates back to the original program. We rather sacrifice the advantage for familiarity, and we overvalue the known. And at the same time, we undervalue the unknown. What can we do to stop becoming our own obstacles in our lives? Well, first of all, you should start asking the following question. You should ask yourself, where and how did I set this mechanism? How did it happen? And figure out why you decided to have your limit the way that you set up. The second question is, stop the excuses and step into the unknown. Stop dwelling and start approaching something that is unfamiliar, an unknown territory. Sure, there's going to be dangers and potential risks involved, but without exploring those new territory, you're not going to be able to see and experience new things that may serve towards your interests. The third question you should ask yourself is, get out of the comfort zone and take one small baby step at a time. I'm not asking you to, totally embrace something that is totally unfamiliar, but take small steps and start exploring going on an adventure in a way. There are four main reasons why sometimes we become our own worst enemies. And number one is that we all have this desire to be perfect. We're all perfectionists. Whether you are working on an assignment, project, business, or relationship, what have you, we always want to make everything perfect, and we're control freaks. We want to make sure that we don't screw up in any way, or we make any kind of errors, throughout the process. Because that we want to make everything so perfect, sometimes we tend to be counterproductive. The second reason is that a lot of times we try to set some kind of a timing goal. So, for example, you're working on let's say, you're looking for your soulmate. You're wanting to find a true love for yourself, and you always kind of think that, I have to have a stable kind of professionalism or job or career. I need to finish school. I need to do this and that. So you set all these other sub goals on the way, and in a way, you are delaying the timing. But if you really think about it, if you're really wise, there is no perfect timing. The perfect timing is this very present moment. And again, like I said before, whatever you decide to do right now that serves as an attempt to get one step closer to your objective, you're doing everything you possibly can to create that endeavor to get closer to that finish line. The third reason why we tend to become our own obstacles is that sometimes we tend to get attached to the past. So for example, if there are some kind of endeavors in the past where you haven't finished and you know that it's time to let it go, but somewhere in your memory you still dwell on that. You still feel bitter about it. So you tend to kind of, you have this shackle and chained up in your ankle, and you're kind of carrying this whole weight with you going forward. So it's really counterproductive in that aspect. The last reason that I think that sometimes you can become your own worst enemy is that we tend to be very afraid of failing. Sure, nobody wants to fail, but failure is part of any kind of attempt. Without failure, there is no success. I think what you should focus on is you can be afraid of making the same mistakes, but you should not be afraid to attempt the same type of thing that you tried before if you really want to go over that obstacle and conquer that. So those are the four reasons. Of course, there are more to it, but that I wanted to kind of share with you guys. So thank you for listening today. Hit that like button. If you can subscribe, I'll be very grateful. Until next time, take care and peace.